The scratch ran the entire length of my car's passenger side. Deep, deliberate gouges in the metallic blue paint I'd spent years saving for. 3 years of overtime shifts, careful budgeting, and skipped vacations had gone into purchasing this car. It wasn't expensive by luxury standards, but for me, it represented independence and achievement. And now, a jagged line of exposed metal glinted in the afternoon sun, running from the passenger door all the way to the rear panel. I stood in my driveway, staring at the damage while my nephew Tyler sprinted around the corner of my house, his toy truck abandoned near my rear wheel. The truck was metal, heavy, with sharp edges. I could see the paint transfer on one corner where it had scraped against my car. "Tyler, come here, please," I called out, keeping my voice level despite the sick feeling in my stomach. My 7-year-old nephew ignored me, already focused on climbing my porch steps to grab another toy from the collection that had somehow migrated to my front door over the past few months. "Tyler," I called again, firmer this time. My sister Jennifer appeared from my backyard, phone in hand, barely glancing up from whatever text conversation held her attention. "What's wrong now?" I pointed at the scratch, running my finger just above the damage without touching it. "Tyler dragged something metal along my car. Look at this damage." Jennifer finally looked, squinting at the scratch for perhaps 2 seconds before her expression shifted from mild annoyance to complete dismissal. "Oh, that's why you have insurance. Kids will be kids. You know how it is." She turned back to her phone immediately, her thumbs already moving across the screen, already losing interest in what she clearly considered a minor inconvenience. "Jennifer, this is going to cost hundreds of dollars to fix properly. The paint is down to the metal. This isn't something I can just ignore or buff out. Insurance will cover it," she repeated, waving her hand dismissively without looking up from her phone. "Stop being so uptight. It's just a car. You're always so dramatic about your things. Remember when you freaked out about the juice stain on your couch? That came out fine. That took professional cleaning that I pay for," I reminded her, my jaw tightening. "And this isn't a stain. This is body damage that will require repainting the entire panel. My deductible alone is $500. Then file a claim. That's what insurance is for." Jennifer glanced at her watch, clearly eager to leave. "Look, accidents happen. You can't expect a 7-year-old to be perfect. You don't have kids, so you don't understand." Tyler grabbed another toy from my porch, a dump truck this time, and ran back toward the street, nearly tripping over his own feet in his excitement. I watched him go, this child who spent more time at my house than his own, whose toys littered my lawn, whose snack requests I fulfilled without question multiple days a week. I looked at my sister, who was typing rapidly on her phone, completely absorbed in her digital conversation, completely uninterested in the real-world problem standing right in front of her. "Are you going to talk to him about respecting other people's property?" I asked, trying to keep the frustration from my voice. "He's 7. He doesn't understand these things yet. You need to relax." Jennifer pocketed her phone and checked her watch again. "Anyway, I've got to run. Can you watch him for another hour? Maybe 2. I have a hair appointment at 3, and you know how backed up Salon Bliss gets." I opened my mouth to protest, to say that I hadn't agreed to watch him in the first place, that she dropped him off 2 hours ago to Breezy just for 30 minutes. But the words died in my throat. This was our pattern. This was how it always went. Before I could respond, she was already walking to her car, keys jingling in her hand. "Thanks. You're the best. I'll be back by 5, maybe 6 if traffic's bad. Feed him if he gets hungry. There should be chicken nuggets in your freezer from last time." I stood alone in my driveway, looking at the damage that would cost me a $500 deductible, watching my sister drive away with a casual wave, like she just borrowed a cup of sugar instead of dismissing significant damage to my property and dumping childcare responsibilities on me without permission. Again. The afternoon sun beat down on the exposed metal of the scratch, and I could already imagine the rust that would form if I didn't get it fixed quickly. My insurance rates would probably increase after filing a claim. I'd be out the deductible either way, and Jennifer acted like I was being unreasonable for even mentioning it. I walked inside, leaving Tyler to his toys in the yard, and sat at my kitchen table. Through the window, I could see him racing his trucks along my walkway, making engine noises, completely oblivious to the consequences his actions had caused. He was 7. He really didn't understand. But Jennifer did. She was 34 years old, fully capable of teaching her son responsibility and respect for other people's belongings. She just chose not to because it was easier to let things slide, to let me deal with the aftermath, to treat my home as an extension of her own convenience. That was Wednesday. Thursday, Jennifer texted me, asking if Tyler could come over after school. Need to run errands. You're home anyway, right? I stared at the message for a long moment, then replied, not available today. Friday brought another text. Tyler's school has early dismissal. Can he hang at your place, just for a few hours? Can't today, I responded. Saturday morning, my phone rang at 8. Jennifer sounded irritated. Why aren't you answering my texts? I need you to watch Tyler today. I have plans. I'm busy this weekend, I said simply. Busy? Doing what? You never do anything on weekends. Come on, just a few hours. I have things to handle. You'll need to make other arrangements. Silence. Then, is this about the car? Seriously? I told you insurance covers it. Stop being petty. I didn't argue. I need to go, Jennifer. Good luck with your plans. I hung up before she could respond. The following Wednesday, Jennifer showed up at my door unannounced, Tyler in tow. She had that expectant look on her face, the one that said she assumed everything had blown over. Hey, we were in the neighborhood. Tyler wanted to play in your backyard. You don't mind, right? I stood in the doorway, not moving aside. Actually, I do mind. Jennifer laughed uncertainly. What? Why? Because I've established some new house rules, and one of them is that Tyler isn't allowed on my property anymore. Her smile vanished. You're joking. I'm not. My home, my driveway, my yard, all off limits. Over a stupid scratch? Are you insane? Jennifer's voice rose. He's a child. A child who caused $500 in damage that you dismissed as my problem. A child whose mother uses my home as free daycare without asking, then acts like I'm unreasonable for expecting basic respect. Tyler tugged on Jennifer's sleeve, confused. She pulled him closer, glaring at me. You're really going to punish a 7-year-old because you're mad at me? I'm not punishing anyone. I'm setting boundaries. You made it clear that damage to my property doesn't matter. So now, my property is no longer available to you. This is insane. You're my sister. Yes, and you're someone who takes advantage of that relationship. I spent 2 years watching Tyler multiple times a week, never asking for anything in return. The one time something goes wrong, you couldn't even acknowledge it or offer to help. Jennifer's face flushed red. I have a life. I have responsibilities. I can't just sit at home all day like you do. I work from home, which you know, and what you call sitting at home, I call being available whenever you need something. That availability has ended. What am I supposed to do? I have a job. Tyler needs a parent who takes responsibility when he damages other people's property. You'll figure it out like every other working parent does. Daycare, after-school programs, babysitters. I'm done being your free backup plan. Jennifer stared at me, fury and disbelief competing on her face. You're unbelievable. Mom and Dad are going to hear about this. I'm sure they will. Goodbye, Jennifer. I closed the door. That evening my mother called. Jennifer says you banned Tyler from your house? What's going on? I explained the situation calmly, including the scratched car, the dismissed damage, and the years of unpaid babysitting. Mom sighed. She's your sister. Family helps family. Help goes both ways, Mom. Respect goes both ways. Neither has been happening. You're making this bigger than it needs to be. It's just a scratch. It's $500, but more than that, it's the principle. Jennifer has never once offered to pay me or even thanked me properly for all the times I've watched Tyler. She treats my time and property as if they have no value. That's just how Jennifer is. She's busy, she's stressed, and I'm not. My time isn't valuable because I work from home. My belongings don't matter because I don't have kids. Silence. Then, quietly, what do you want her to do? Acknowledge that she was wrong, take responsibility, and understand that my home is not her free resource to exploit whenever it's convenient. That seems harsh. What's harsh is being taken for granted for 2 years and then being called dramatic for expecting basic courtesy. Mom didn't argue further, but I could hear the disappointment in her voice when she said goodbye. 2 weeks passed. Jennifer tried texting once. This is ridiculous. He's your nephew. I replied, he's your son, your responsibility. Another week went by. Then, on a Tuesday evening, Jennifer showed up again. No Tyler this time. She looked exhausted. Can we talk? She asked, her voice lacking its usual edge. I stepped aside, letting her in. We sat in my living room, the silence stretching between us. Jennifer studied her hands. Daycare is expensive, she finally said. I didn't realize how expensive until I actually had to pay for it full time. I waited. And the after-school program has a waiting list. I had to hire a babysitter 3 days a week. She charges $20 an hour. Still, I said nothing. Jennifer stopped, swallowed. I never thought about what I was asking from you, or how much of your time I was taking. You were always available. It seemed easy. It was easy for you, I said quietly. It wasn't always easy for me. I rearranged meetings, cut work short, canceled plans. I did it because you're my sister and I love Tyler. But I needed you to value that, and you didn't. Jennifer nodded slowly. The car thing. I should have offered to pay your deductible. I should have apologized. I should have made Tyler apologize. Yes. I called you dramatic because I felt guilty. I knew I was wrong, but admitting it meant admitting I'd been taking advantage of you. It was easier to make you the problem. I leaned back, studying my sister's face. She looked genuinely remorseful, but I'd learned not to accept apologies too quickly. What changed? I asked. Having to actually arrange childcare. Having to pay for it. Realizing that you did all of this for free for years, and I never even said thank you. Not really. Jennifer looked up, her eyes glassy. I took you for granted. Completely, and I'm sorry. I appreciate the apology. Is there any way? She started, then stopped. I'm not asking for free babysitting. I know that's done, but can Tyler at least visit sometimes? As actual family, not as a convenience? I considered this. Here are my conditions. You ask in advance, at least 2 days ahead. You respect my schedule if I say no. Tyler gets a genuine talk about respecting other people's property. And you cover my deductible for the car repairs. Jennifer nodded quickly. Done. All of it. I'd already have a check in my purse. She pulled out her wallet, extracting a folded check, $500 made out to me. I took it, examining the amount. Thank you. Can I bring Tyler by this weekend? Actually by for a visit, not dropping him off. We could have lunch together, all 3 of us. My treat. Saturday works, 1 o'clock. Jennifer stood, hesitating. I really am sorry about everything. You deserve better than how I treated you. Yes, I did. But we can move forward from here. After she left, I sat in the quiet of my home, thinking about boundaries and respect. My car would be repaired. My time would be valued. And my sister, perhaps for the first time, understood that kindness wasn't infinite, that even family relationships required mutual respect and consideration. Saturday came. Jennifer and Tyler arrived exactly at 1, carrying takeout from my favorite restaurant. Tyler handed me a drawing he'd made, a crayon picture of my car, carefully colored, with "Sorry" written across the top in uneven letters. I shouldn't have hurt your car, he said quietly, the words clearly rehearsed but sincere. Mom says I need to be more careful with other people's stuff. Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate the apology and the drawing. We ate lunch in my backyard, the conversation careful but genuine. Jennifer asked about my work, actually listening to my responses. She told me about her job stresses without using them as excuses. Tyler played with his toys on the grass, but kept them away from my car parked in the driveway. When they left, Jennifer hugged me. Same time next week. Same time next week, I confirmed. As I watched them drive away, I felt something shift, not back to how things were, but forward to something better. Something built on respect instead of assumption. My house rules had, in truth, covered more than just my driveway. They covered the foundation of how I allowed people to treat me. And that boundary, once set, would never be crossed again.